Welcome to Nasdaq TradeTalks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me for this segment, we have Kadjeski, head of Brokerage and Investments at Vanguard, to discuss the benefits of 529 plans and how Americans view higher education today. Andrew, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Thanks for having me, Jill.
You got it. What does the data reveal about how Americans view higher education today?
Yeah, well, we're really excited about the insights that our most recent survey around the state of education savings in U.S. revealed. So first, the data shows that Americans still view higher education as important for achieving financial success. In fact, 75% of our survey respondents said that some sort of higher education is necessary to becoming wealthy. Now, having said that, the avenues to financial success look different today. While four-year degrees are still quite popular, the survey showed that options such as trade schools and apprenticeships are increasingly becoming common. And finally, when it comes to funding higher education, Americans are no longer solving this through one method. They're actually using a combination of things like family savings, scholarships, grants, financial aid, and loans.
Many individuals misunderstand 529 plans and how they work. Can you tell our listeners what a 529 plan is and some of the benefits that they offer?
Yeah, certainly. Well, in short, a 529 plan is an investment plan that enables you to save money for education expenses. What makes 529s one of the best tools for education savings is their tax efficiency and the flexibility that they offer. So, first, from a tax perspective, your savings, they grow tax deferred, just like an IRA. And your withdrawals for qualified expenses, those are tax free as well. In some states, your contributions are actually tax deductible as well. Now, second, 529s, they offer a ton of flexibility, including what the money can be used for. So, for example, they can be used to cover tuition and expenses not only for college, but for K through 12, grad school, trade school, apprenticeships, studying abroad, even student loan repayment. And a final point here, Jill, is anyone can contribute to a 529, and many plans actually offer a gifting platform for friends and families to use. True story, for example, earlier this week, I visited my parents for dinner, and they made a point to say that they were going to offer to make a contribution to both my son and daughter's 529s, which they can do themselves through a link that is unique to my kids' accounts.
There seems to be some confusion around how to start a 529. What steps do you recommend people take to successfully set up an account, and how much should one contribute?
Yeah, so setting up a 529, it can be done in just 3 quick steps. So first, you got to select the plan. At Vanguard, we always say that the one thing you can control with your investments is the costs. So when comparing plans, we encourage investors to look at potential tax benefits, which typically depend on what state you live in. And of course, you need to look at the fees that you're going to be paying. Second, you need to select your investment. And like any investment, you need to determine your goal, your risk tolerance, and your time horizon. But a great feature that is in most 529 plans are what are known as pre-built portfolios. You can think of these as very similar to the target date funds that many Americans utilize in their 401k plans. So you pick your risk tolerance, the age of the beneficiary, and the investment manager does the rest of the work for you. Right? They reallocate your portfolio as your child gets closer to college. And finally, you need to determine how much you're going to contribute, both upfront and ongoing. But education savings, that's like any other financial plan, it's best done with a long-term horizon. So the sooner you start contributing, the more time your money has to grow. But no worries if your child is older, there is still value in starting now, because ultimately it'll help decrease the amount of student debt that you or your child might need to take on.
One common concern people have about 529 plans is what happens if the person you're saving for doesn't pursue college. How can 529 plans be useful in this instance?
Yeah, so another example of the flexibility, Jill, that 529s offer is that the money can easily be transferred to other beneficiaries. So a common example we see is transferring money between different children or grandchildren accounts, as needed. Also worth noting is there is new legislation known as the Secure Act 2.0, which actually has given 529s even more flexibility. So, for example, long-held accounts can move up to $35,000 into a Roth IRA starting next year in 2024.
What other trends are you seeing relating to 529 awareness and usage?
Well, first, our research continues to show that besides retirement, saving for education continues to be the most cited financial goal that investors have. But what we also continue to see is that many investors, they're just not utilizing a 529 for this really important savings goal. In fact, our survey revealed that only 30% of parents with children that are already in college or about to enter college have actually used a 529. So what's happening is many are just commingling that money that is earmarked for college with other savings in their bank account. So, they're missing out on all those benefits that I mentioned earlier. And the biggest barrier that the survey showed here is it's actually awareness. Millennials and Gen Z, they actually have the lowest familiarity with 529s, yet these are the ones that are next in line to fund higher education for their children. So all this suggests that more education about 529s is needed. So, final thought here, Jill, is that, I just encourage viewers to visit our website, Vanguard.com, ultimately to get more educated on 529s. We've got a whole section dedicated to that. And, starting to save for your child's education, it could also be a point for many investors to begin engaging with a financial advisor. But listen, at the end of the day, whether you're doing it on your own or through an advisor, ultimately, we encourage investors to become more familiar with 529s and take advantage of all the great things that they have to offer.
All right, Andrew, appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.